All I wanna do is count racks. I be chillin' in the cut just like an ex. Getting lifted with my niggas smoking wax. Stacking up, I'm tryna go shop out in France too. Tell these lame niggas get they cash up. Yeah, I'm speeding in a fast truck. Yes, foreign, I don't really need no backup. Do it by myself, yeah, I'm turned from the sunny that I'm pouring. All I wanna do is count racks. Shorty ass fat when I hit it, bounce back. Yeah.
All right, so we have a special guest on the Extendo Clip podcast today. It's the creator of Black Bolt Comics, man. I've been scrolling through, seeing his work on Instagram. I was like, man, I gotta have this guy on. So, welcome to the show, Jamal Dabney. Welcome, bro.
Good to be here, man. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. I'm glad to finally have you on, bro. Because like I said, I've been scrolling through Instagram, seeing your work on there and everything, and I'm really digging what you've done so far. So I guess just to kick it off, just walk me through the process on, what got you into comics, itself, and what got you to start writing comics.
Well, I've been on comics for a while. I started kind of late though. Like I read comics every now and then as a kid. And just was big on mainly the shows. Like me, obviously just like watching like, the animated series of Batman, Superman, right? Justice League, just stuff like that when we were younger, man. Toonami, right? Like
exactly.
Yep. Like so, like stuff like that. I was like, I guess you could call that like I was like a base level nerd, and that's when it wasn't really popular to be into that type of stuff. So, just I grew up on that type of stuff, and that kind of always inspired me to always want to make my own story. Just never really knew how to go about it until recently. So, and quite later on, like in my older years of like watching entertainment, I got really hooked on Arrow, the Green Arrow.
I love that, bro. I figured because I heard the music in the background. I'm a huge, so when it comes to like the films and the TV shows, I'm a huge fan of the scores because I love classical music. So like as soon, you played the Arrow theme, and I think in a couple of your videos, and I was like, okay, he must be an Arrow fan. Must be an Arrow fan.
Oh yeah, big time, man, big time. And I just like the way the TV show portrayed that darker version of Arrow, and I was always like, yo, this version of Arrow will whoop Christian Bale's Batman.
Ass, like, will kick his ass.
like bro, like instantly, like more combative scenes. So I wanted to, incorporate that. And what really made me want to get into like writing and making comics was, man, like the events of 2020, like just basically everything, right? So I'm talking about the release of COVID. I'm like, yo, this really seemed like straight like what was his name? The guy that starred in Bruce Lee Enter the Dragon. I forget the brother's name right now, but
yeah. I know what you're talking about. I forget his name too. I know what you're talking about.
He's like, man, you come straight out of a comic book, and it's like I'm looking at this stuff happening and unfolding before my eyes, like during the George Floyd riots, man. And it's like I'm looking at this stuff. I'm like, yo, this straight out of a comic book, man.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, dude, I remember just watching like one of the streets in the neighborhood. I just happened to be driving down, and I didn't even live in that neighborhood, and you just see like the streets like really on fire, like literally on fire. And then I looked to like my right, and I'm driving with my friend, and I see like this jewelry store being robbed.
Wow.
Like I'm watching it, and I was like, yo, it would be so dope. And at that moment, that's when Black Bolt was born, because it's like, it would be crazy right now if like some dude not only had to try to stop the destruction of his city because of this, dude's also trying to save like the inner city protesters from the violent acts of police brutality. So
exactly.
Imagine a hero that had to reconcile with all of that. I don't think that's ever been done before.
It hasn't.
Or even if it has, it's been done in such a light way that they would hint at it, but never like fully really go into it. Yeah, man. So that's where I kind of got the inspiration for that.
And tell me if I'm wrong, but even with like a lot of your characters, and now I may be attributing my own taste into things, but it comes off as kind of like I guess it's weird. It's like this weird mix of like literally. So like the character I first saw was the Hatesman. That was the first one, the first character I saw on your page, and I'm like, what is this? And then I started, and then you did the voiceover and everything. I was like, yo, this is like Kingsman meets blaxploitation meets a little bit with like a twisted Tarantino, just with that character. Am I tripping? Is that like the tone that the characters are going to be in as well? More like a blaxploitation, like Kingsman style?
Okay, yeah. So blaxploitation. Yeah, sure. You mean like how the old retro films were with what's that, Undercover Brother and type of going. Okay, yes, it's gonna have that taste to it, funny, light humor. It's gonna be some, humor in that stuff.
It even had like kind of like the hints of like the and don't take this as a bad way when I say this, but the extravagance of Kingsman. Like the Hatesman looks like he could be a character in the Kingsman universe. You feel me? So like that's what it gave me, like hints of that and everything like that. So like that was why, the main question I wanted to ask you really was like, what's the tone of this story going to be? Because like it like just like I said, I'm probably attributing my taste to it, but like you said, it's going to have that twist to it. So
yeah, no, it's definitely off rip, like it's it's definitely pro-black, like definitely right. So that's mainly the thing, and it's man, since I started this, man, it's been so like I haven't even really gone into heavy promotion with like how some of my mentors like in this field and this community go like Black Sands and stuff like that. Like I haven't like truly which is coming though, but the Kickstarter is going to be ready within the month, so it's definitely you're going to see that heavy promotion start to roll in. But I haven't really. Oh man, I got some stuff planned for that, and it's going to get real controversial, man. When these ads start coming, man, it's going to start rolling in crazy. But I haven't even really done that, and it's already like sparked controversy on some of the forms I put it on, and I think one comment. Excuse me for a second. I'm on my phone instead of my laptop right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's funny, man. I'm on that note. I'm never stopped working, man. I'm actually working on the Kickstarter right now, literally as I'm on the show with you. So it's kind of crazy.
Okay. I understand, bro. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna let you guys see a quick little hint, a little sneak peek. Oh man!
So I guess I'll move into like, just like so. Did you start out on Arrow like on season 1? Like you watched it from jump all the way through?
Yeah. I started off on season 1 all the way through, bro.
Oh man. See, I was a late bloomer, so I got into it when season 1 ended and they were making season 2. My homie put me onto it, so I went on Netflix, watched season 1. Then when I finished season 1, season 2 dropped. I rolled into that and I was hooked. I was a fan, especially when they introduced Barry in season 2. I love the Flash. Flash is one of my favorite characters. So, but I felt, honestly, I got to be honest, I fell off on season 3. I did not like season 3 and 4. To me, it was kind of worse, but they got me back in 5. Prometheus, to me, that season was the best season, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, man, yeah. He was a dope character, man. I didn't like the guy that played him. He felt a little cheesy to me. Gave me like Jake Paul vibes a little bit, man. If it had been something a little bit that fit the darker portrayal of the character, I was like, yo, this dude's bad. I mean, he's going toe to toe with Green Arrow and combat and everything. Yeah,
My only thing is, I feel like in pre-production, I feel like they wanted it to be Tommy, but I feel like the actor probably couldn't come back because the character fit Tommy more than like the story they built for him.
Exactly. Yeah, Tommy, it would have fit him good the way he died, but I don't know. Did he come back as like a multiverse character though?
So he came back in Crisis on Earth X. He was part of like the Nazi regime and everything, and then they did him in season 8 when they did like the farewell season and everything.
Right.
and they basically did like an inverse of the season 1 story with him in like one episode. So that was dope. And season 8 is also probably my favorite season too. When they introduced his daughter, like I like the chick that played his daughter too. She was okay. And a couple of the other elements from season 8, obviously Diggle. You feel me? I like to make a joke all the time. I'll be like, Diggle will forever be that nigga, bro. Yo, straight up, Diggle is that guy, bro.
I don't know how they're trying to play that in. Like, what was it at the end of Crisis? You see him like find the ring. Like it looks like that's the Lantern ring. So like, but John Stewart is the Green Lantern in the comics, though.
I think they're going to do like a twist on his name. Like he's going to be like, oh, well, I dropped my last name because I don't like my dad or something. So I'm John Diggle Stewart or something like that.
Why do they always got to do that? They're going to have to, because that's like, okay, they just wrote their ass into a little problem right there.
Exactly.
I was like, okay, John, I get John, because I was like, okay, so they're going to do is like, wait, his name is John Diggle. John Stewart is the Black Green Lantern. But so lately, going back to your question about like what got me into writing the comics, within the past, I say about 2019, right before like the pandemic, 2018, I actually wanted to get the Green Arrow comics because I was such a fan. And started getting like Green Arrow Year One, the comic series, and then started trying to follow up from there and just learning about like some of the like the real villains in there. Like some of them they didn't have yet in the series. Like there's this character I think I don't know what his name's like not Red Skull, but it's something. Dude's got like half of his face burnt off.
Now he's the
real leader of the organization called the Ninth Circle.
Yeah, and that was on the Benjamin Percy run.
Right. Yeah. So they didn't like in Arrow. They had that one dude. He was that his little sister ended up killing. Right. Oliver. Yeah. So I don't know. Was that supposed to be him in the TV version?
Yeah. They see my only issue with Arrow was I wish they would have done more of like the traditional story. Like I wish they would they kind of stuck. So season 1 and 2, it kind of revolved around like the Judd Winnick run with like the I think the Glades getting destroyed and everything that happened in Judd Winnick's run, and then obviously they did the Longbow Hunters, later on and everything. They incorporated Shadow; she was a major character within the Longbow Hunters, as well. But honestly, like I like the old hard traveling hero Green Arrow comics where he was really political, like he was talking about heavy political materials. That's when that whole series it brought in like Speedy being a drug addict and everything. It was like it delved into a lot of politics. Right. So that's what I like about your comics as well, is that it kind of follows that tradition of Green Arrow, where Green Arrow would get political. They actually did one episode in the show about gun control, and like everybody didn't like it. They were like, oh, it's kind of cheesy and corny, but that's what the Green Arrow comics used to do. They would talk about like the hot topic, political things going on. Like Green Arrow was an extremely political character, and so that's also like that you kind of kept that in vain.
He's like a social. He's more like I've heard a comparison between him and Batman, right? So they're both vigilantes. Batman's supposed to be obviously more darker, but he's more like right and wrong and black and white, versions of justice. Whereas though the Green Arrow is like social justice, like he would be considered like the black, like he would probably stand for like a Black Lives Matter cause. Whereas though Batman would be like, you're criminals, you're protesting, you're destroying our businesses, our $5 billion corporations, you're going to jail, you're going to be punished. Like the Green Arrow, I feel like sees more of a gray area and stuff like that. That's why I drew more towards the character when I created Black Bow. So
okay. So I guess going into, so I saw the new design for the newer character you did, the Tempora character. Go into her a little bit, because she was like, I was like, when I saw the backstory, I was like, what? Hold up, I gotta ask about this. How did you come up with that backstory, bro? Especially like I think you said like she sucks bodily fluids out of bitters. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, man, we gotta get it's going all the way Black exploitation, man, with our culture, with like the situations we find ourselves in sometimes. I'm taking it all the way, bro. Like it's going all the way, bro. So like, man.
So is it going to be like really graphic then in that case?
Yeah, see what I plan to do is some books, like the first book that's Uprising, that's coming, that's the book that's the first issue. That's some books will be clearly aimed at an older audience, and then some will be, you know, everybody all ages will be for all ages, obviously,
Okay.
you know. And even some of them will just be like with that, it like what you just said, for instance, like, you know, they get extra power, their genes react to, you know, they're basically like a succubi, right? So in her case, in Tempura's case, she reacts off of the bodily fluids of mankind to further her abilities. So when creating that, man, I was just having fun with it, and I was man playing with a whole bunch of ideas, but that being the main one, that would be dope if some people drains the life force from dudes to, you know, like they got to replenish. It's like a vampire, only in a different way. And yeah, man, it's gonna be crazy though.
So is she gonna be kind of like Black Bow's Catwoman, or you know, what's up with her? What's up with her, Black Bow?
Man, you know, sometimes a Black Bow, he might be a player, man. He might have a couple joints in the series, you know. He's trying his best to, you know, level out his life, but he's gonna find himself in some real sticky situations, man, when it comes to that, man. And yeah, you know, he's, you know, him and her got a little something going on, but it's not the way, it's not like the traditional like love story with like Batman and Catwoman. It's just some straight primal
Okay.
love.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's where I'm going, bro. Yeah.
All right, man. All right, man. And I'll say this too. Like, honestly, the reason why I got so excited when I saw your work is because so my original intent for my YouTube channel was to build and cultivate an audience and then do my own comics. Now, I don't even know what I'm going to do with it. But honestly, seeing you doing what you're doing, I actually, like, my best friend, like, who forever will always call me a nerd, like, oh, you're a nerd. You're not like demeaning way, but like, you know, joking around and everything. Was never into comics or anything like that. Finally got him reading comics. And I haven't been reading them like that. And he was like, yo, what's up with the Killing Joke? This, that. He buying all these comics. And he got me back into it now. And I'm like, shit, bro. He got me pulling my old journals out. I got like stacks and stacks of notebooks of old bro. I'm a writer. I write films, I write comics, all that. So
okay. All right.
So I guess the question is that I'm trying to get to is like how vast is this universe going to be? Are we going to see characters, you know, like main characters beyond Black Bow? Are we going to see like space, you know, potentially going into space? Like how vast can the audience expect this universe to be?
That you named it, man. You're talking about with when you do something with controversy, I didn't want them to be, man, okay, like the audience is not going to get tired, because that first, you know, I don't want to be like it's the main story, right? The main story, the way you'll come off the seed and the way some of this promotion is going to get, you guys on the show are going to get getting a quick exclusive, but you know, it's not just a Black guy that's a vigilante, he's fighting cops, right? I mean, that's like the lead hook. Like people want to see that. Like people really want to see that. So I'm going to give them that. But at the same time, this universe is going to evolve in. It's crazy because you just see this seemingly normal guy. He's an archer, right? You know, and he has abilities too, but they're not super powers. But they come from years of training that he ends up discovering by you know, stumbling upon this lost civilization of ancient warriors. So that's going to be cool to see how he uses that to go up against, obviously, like you can see, people with enhanced ability, super strength, elemental cosmic abilities and how he stacks up against that. How's he going to do it? How's he going to do that? Like what's going to be his ability? And you'll begin to find that out. And so it's going to be crazy. And
it kind of got me thinking about that Avengers Age of Ultron scene with Hawkeye when he was talking to I think it was Wanda, and he was like look, we're fighting an army of robots, the city's flying, and I got a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense.
Right though, and it's gonna get crazy. It's gonna get crazy. I'm talking about this universe is gonna get big, man. You got beings coming from other planets, man. Other solar systems, man. That you got. Oh man, exactly. Oh man, it's about to get crazy.
And that's kind of
not to cut you off, but to think that an archer will be in city leveling battles. That is like, it's gonna be crazy. I mean, I'm talking about Dragon Ball Z cataclysmic,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't wait, bro. I can't wait. Yeah. So I guess going into like, the Ancient Warriors aspect you went into, because one of the things, so there's another comic book guy too. His line is called Unique, I believe. And I saw a couple other guys, and I see like the main theme I see through a lot of you guys' work is you're kind of going into, touching on ancient African culture. And that's something that I'm heavily into, man. Like, a lot of I've been studying a lot of African culture because I feel like, obviously in America, we haven't been taught that shit. And it's weird to see though how the rest of the world knows this shit. You feel me? Like people in the UK, people in Europe, things like that. Even in like, the Far East, like China, things like that. They understand the history of Africa, but Black people in America don't understand that shit. So like, reading about people like the Kushites, the Egyptians obviously, and how much the Kushites influenced Egypt, and basically like King Narmer, who was a Black man, unified Egypt and created it to what it was today, to the point where a lot of our like culture and iconography is, people like to talk about Greece a lot, but they don't talk about Egypt. We literally have a fucking obelisk in the middle of our nation's capital. So just going to that, like what motivated you to, delve into like, ancient African culture as well?
Oh man, it was because so ancient African culture, I can honestly look into the past and seeing that there has been no mainstream it has been no mainstream coverage of that, when it comes to Hollywood, stuff like that. And so, man, if I made a character, that's like supposed to be like Batman, like the way he went off and traveled, who could rival that? Who could, they tried to make him seem the most smartest guy. He's had all this martial arts training. But what if there was a long lost civilization somewhere that had the origins of all martial arts training, and someone stumbled upon that and was lost in that city for years? So he adapted their customs, learned their ways. That's basically the story and the origin story of Black Bow. And I wanted a good origin story. And man, I worked more on the origin story and building the world than I actually did on the first book, because that I felt like that was important. So doing the research, and then I had people helping me do the research, and we're looking into ancient African cities and science, and watching Ancient Aliens, and looking at Neil deGrasse Tyson, the scientist. And I was just doing watching a lot of documentaries, then doing my own research.
When you start doing space stuff, I'd recommend checking out PBS, their Space Time YouTube channel. They talk a lot about like astronomy and things like that. So I would recommend that too.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, I've checked some of that. I've seen some of their stuff on when I'm scrolling down, and that stuff, it makes for great stories. Like that you can definitely build universes on top of that stuff. Like you have the knowledge to do that from looking at their content. But
I'm glad you brought up Ancient Aliens too, bro. Literally that's one of my inspirations when I was writing too. I'm like, yo, this shit is like basically comic books. And then like and then Eternals just came out. I'm like, yo, they literally
they literally took the premise of ancient aliens and adapted it to that. So it's like, I mean, so if you like ancient aliens, you're gonna like Black Bull's origin story. Just, I'm like, not only remember how he can combat people with extraordinary abilities is because he studies this form of art called Anu, and this is an energy source that was given to mankind from the ones that came from the sky. So that's just a little premise of that. And the people that taught Black Bull have been studying this for millennia, for thousands of years. And you know, basically you could compare it to like Chi from Dragon Ball or Chakra from Naruto.
Okay.
Hockey, One Piece. Have you I mean, I don't know how familiar you are with like anime per se, but
not a big anime guy, but I know those because my friends watch those, so I know a little bit about them.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, that too. Like I go back and forth. I watch, you know, a lot of comic Western animation and then anime too. Because like just like so, because I wanted to combine the two. So Black Bull is going to be a combination of both of those. Like where you got one guy going on a journey, and one thing I liked about I burned that by accident. And I didn't know it was going to do that fast, but it's still good though. But one thing that I wanted to see was heroes like the Flash or something like that. As time goes on, he's power scaling. So you know, like in anime, you know, they go away for 2 years and they got to train because some villain's on the way. He's coming from outer space and it's gonna take them 2 years to get here, and they got to go in a hyperbolic time chamber to train. So like that stuff you really don't see in comics, like Western comics. So yeah, you just got like I heard this theories like Superman 1 million and stuff like that. But like normally you don't see, you know, them training and them unlocking some new ability. You know, they you know, either they're strong enough or they're not.
Exactly.
Or they gotta team up to take a bad guy down. Like you're not gonna see them dig deep down like level 4. Like so I wanted to like combine that with comics. So the Black Bull, he's got power skill, man. He's gonna reach new abilities. And as the series goes on, the enemies are gonna get stronger. Like to see him go from like a city level hero, like a Green Arrow, to be fighting people like Darkseid by himself eventually, it's gonna get crazy, bro. It's gonna get crazy. And it's because of these beings that have taught the people of the ancient African civilization that's in this particular place, which is based on historical accuracy too. There was a ancient civilization pronounced Nok, N-O-K. So I mean, like I was researching that, like, and that was located in modern day Nigeria, near like the Bendu River and those villages along there, close to like the Mali Empire, right? So, and that city, that ancient city of Nok, that even predated the Mali Empire. That site could be thousands of years old. And so look that up. That'll even be on some of the ancient maps, that the pre-colonization maps to Africa. So like if you look at some of those, you'll see it, Nok, N-O-K. And so Black Bull, I can tell you that because this is going to be in the origin story. So I can tell you this is not in the upcoming comic, but Black Bull, he's a kid genius, graduates early, goes on an expedition to Africa, an archaeological expedition. He's an archaeologist, and you'll see that in the book. He's a professor now, but he's on this expedition. An accident happens, a chamber collapses. He ends up basically falling through, like, it's crazy because you're talking about, we get into that if you watch, you know, in my story, like these civilizations, these ancient civilizations that were formed by beings from another realm, another galaxy. They all have something in common. Basically, this city that he falls upon had the same technological advancements like Atlantis, and they were actually rivals and other ancient cities. So Atlantis wasn't the only ancient city that they talk about. There were ancient cities just like it all over the world. And so this one happened to be in Africa. So Black Bo discovers that, he finds these relics, and what is going to end up happening is he's going to come across this legendary weapon which helps him fight off these villains, called the Black Bow. The Black Bow is not the Black Bow because he's black. He's the Black Bow because of the weapon that he uses. So you're going to delve into all that, and it's just going to be crazy.
Bro, and I love backstory like that. I love, you know, adding the mythology and into all that as well, because it's like, it, you know, like you said, there's historical precedents about this. There's this he's not necessarily an archaeologist, but he goes and he talks to them and he works with them and goes on sites with them and everything, and he writes books about it. His name is Graham Hancock. He talks about this a lot. He was actually he was on Joe Rogan like a while ago. He hasn't been on recently, but he was talking about stuff like this, how he believes basically that, you know, the in the prehistoric earth. So there was this site called Göbekli Tepe in Turkey that was discovered recently, and it's dated like I forget exactly, like around like 100,000 years, something like that. Like basically back when they said human beings were hunter-gatherers, that it completely demolishes that narrative.
So the whole 6,000 years ago stuff is out the window, man. There's been sites that they've dug down, what's it called? Not geoforming, radiocarbon dating.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know, and this too, I was going to school for archaeology.
Okay. Okay.
So this is why, like, he that heavily influenced that. But radiocarbon dating, so that's, you know, sticking an object that can read the dates of the layers of the rock that are beneath the soil. Mm-hmm. So they dug down like meters deep, which is supposed to be rock that hasn't been seen for over 200,000 years, and they found a doll that seemed to be something that a little girl would play with. How did that get down there? So when you see things like that and you study stuff like that, man, it's just mind blowing. So it's the fact that, I know what's up there. Any conscious person will have to come on now.
Exactly. And then you're seeing and then on top of that, like when you hear because to me, see, my problem with the ancient astronaut theory is, in terms of ancient aliens, because I believe in it, personally.
I'm right there too,
But my issue with how they present it on ancient aliens is they don't, in my opinion, they don't present the vast amount of archaeological evidence out there. They don't bring on because a lot of the archaeologists that have made these discoveries, they go through the proper archaeological things. Like they're, constantly scrutinizing it, so they're not just outright jumping to, humans are older or alien than aliens. Like they're, they go through the main, what I call the mainstream scientific processes, which to some degree is a good thing. You feel me? Is a good thing. Those guardrails there in a sense are kind of a good thing, but it's when those guardrails become dogmatic is the problem. But I guess my issue with them is they kind of sensationalize it in a sense on ancient aliens, like the whole like Giorgio and shit, like aliens, everything's aliens, and it's like, bro, relax. You got to present the evidence to the people.
Relax.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. One thing I find interesting too with all of that, with that theory is that, the archaeological evidence, right? So you got to have some type of support your claim. Mm-hmm. the greatest thing you could do, like the greatest thing I found, like that also has presidents, and that is like the archaeologists that have found legit like giants, right? Like when you get into that realm, because that's gonna be in Black Bolt too. I mean, we going all the way there, man.
I can't wait to see it, man.
Like the ancient, I'm talking about like ancient
Book of Enoch shit. Book of Enoch shit. Bro, look again.
Bro. Yeah, who knows? Enoch might show up himself, man. We don't know. It's gonna get crazy.
So I guess another question I'll ask. Now, one of my gripes with comics has always been about, one of the. Hang on, give me 1 second. Am I still coming in clear?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. One of the gripes I've always had with comics is, to me, I feel like they sometimes miss the mark when it comes to. My mic keeps turning down. I'm sorry about that.
Mm-hmm. I can hear you just fine.
One of the gripes I have with comics is that they don't like. What's the word I'm looking for? They don't age the characters. You feel me? You don't get the character. They don't have definitive deaths of characters, and that's something that I wanted to do in my comic book universe. Like my characters, they were going to grow, and then die eventually, whether they died young or die old or whatever. So what's your plan? Like, is that going to be the plan for Black Bow? Because that's one of the things I've always wanted to see. I feel like comics, never done that except for like maybe like Invincible or something like that, or a couple other like one consolidated.
Oh man, I can't wait for Invincible. Like, yo, if you like Invincible, yeah, you're gonna like it, especially with the blood, with the gore. Like it's out there, bro. It's out there. Not gonna overdo it because I know, I want a decent amount of age, but I mean, I basically know who my target audience for this is. So I'm excited, man. I just, I hope everybody else is excited too. And it's good. This is the first time I've done this. So, man, I'm excited, man.
I bet, man. I bet. So, all right, man, I guess I'll go ahead and wrap it up because I'm starting to get hungry myself. I see you eating. I'm smelling my aunt cooking upstairs right now. I get hungry. So, man.
We got to do this again, though. I like talking to you, man.
I would love to have you on, actually. So I actually have 3 YouTube channels. I have a political YouTube channel. I don't know if you noticed too. I was the guy, you posted a post a while ago. It was about the China Shang-Chi thing. That was me that commented on that.
Okay.
Yeah, that was me. So so yeah, I talk politics. I do this one for like film and comics and everything. And then I have another YouTube channel where I just talk about everything. And I have my main podcast I call the 42 podcast. So I would love to have you on there too, man, if you're willing to come on.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Definitely. Definitely set that up, bro.
All right, man. So there we have it, man. My guy Jamal, thank you for coming on, man. Thank you for coming on. Shout out all the information you need people to know about Black Bow, the social, all that. Shout it out, and then I'll link it down below too when I finish editing.
All right, that sounds good, man. So you already know what time it is. It's your boy Jamal Dabney, author and creator of Black Bow, and here's where you can find me at: Facebook, IG, Twitter, at Black Bow Comics. All right, we got the Kickstarter coming up. So what you need to do is, I'm gonna leave it to my boy right here. Sign up for that mailing list so y'all get all the information that you need to know ahead of time. You'll get the newsletter. You'll get all the updates on our upcoming projects. So hit that, or go to www.blackbowcomics.com, and the button's right there on the first page. Scroll down, sign up. You can also visit the store too to get you some merch while you at it.
I was about to say, man, you got big boy shirts. I'm a big guy.
Yeah. Oh man, you already know, man. I got you, bro.
Okay.
Got you.
Okay, man. All right, you guys already know what it is here with me, man. Filmmatic. It's gonna be more videos coming. That Spider-Man trailer dropping today, so definitely look out. Well, this video is probably gonna be out after that, but y'all see my content. Y'all know how I get down. Y'all know who I am. It's your guy Bendu, Filmatics and everything. Again, Jamal, thank you for coming through on the Extendo Clip podcast on the Filmmatic. This is my podcast for that channel. And Thanks for tuning in, guys. And
All I
peace.
do is count racks. I be chillin' in the cut just like an ex. Getting lifted with my niggas smoking wax. Stacking up, I'm tryna go shop out in France too. Tell these lame niggas get they cash up. Yeah, I'm speeding in a fast truck. Yeah, it's foreign, I don't really need no backup. Do it by myself, yeah, I'm turned from this honey that I'm pouring.